I'm Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Nightmare Nerd. Woo!
Well, greetings once again, my fellow horror fanatics. As you can tell from that intro, I was recently at the Horror Sideshoe Market in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm going to try to make the one that will be happening in October in Atlantic City, but only time will tell if that's possible. Meeting Felissa Rose was a true delight. She really is just an incredibly gracious, friendly, and down-to-earth person, and she looks phenomenal. Now that I've said that, this particular video is to offer up my experience with the Fortean Times. This is not quite a review, but I do like to use this channel to try to help not only give, artists and creators a boost, but also to kind of put it out there to some other horror fanatics like myself and say, this is good, check it out, or maybe this is bad, don't even bother. With the Fortean Times, it was a real mixed bag. Now, the whole reason I got this subscription is because I used to see ads for the Fortean Times in Rue Morgue magazine when I still got my horror block. Every single box had an issue of Rue Morgue in it. And I was also already familiar with the term Fortean because I was familiar with the Center for Fortean Zoology from the UK, run by John Downes, thanks to this book, Three Men Seeking Monsters, which, by the way, I do recommend. It's a hilarious read. So the name just leapt right out at me, and I really did want to just check it out, so I signed up for a short-term subscription just to see what it's like, and then I'd make up my mind whether I wanted to go long-term and become a permanent subscriber. I gotta say, it has been one heck of a mixed bag. The only way that I can describe it would be to say that it's very hit or miss. I think that really I got tremendously spoiled by my home state's own little version, Weird New Jersey. Outside of the appeal of this magazine being all about New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, places that I have seen and visited and have enjoyed with my own two eyes, is the simple fact that this is actually a bi-yearly publication. As you can see, it is a very thick magazine. Because it's bi-yearly, that means these issues tend to be huge, just bursting with articles. So you're bound to find something that will perk your interest. With the Fortean Times, not so much so. In fact, what I found is that there were only 2 or 3 issues that I really enjoyed thoroughly. The others were just plain dull. I suppose it's because it's a monthly publication as opposed to bi-yearly like Weird New Jersey. This was one of my last issues, and you saw it in my thumbnail, and I really enjoyed this one because it details a case that I had never heard of before, the Monster of London, and that I've since become quite fascinated by and done my own research into. I suggest you try Googling and YouTubing it because it is a fun topic. But nonetheless, the article that the cover boasts isn't even that long, only 3 or 4 pages. So for as fascinating as it is, it still kind of just glosses over it. It doesn't go as in-depth as I would like. This was easily the best issue because outside of being a lover of history and of course the universal classic monsters, it brought up an aspect of mummies, archaeology, Egyptology that you really don't hear talked about very much these days, and that is how mummies were not always priceless pieces of antiquity that had to be handled with the most delicate of care. There was a time when they were a fad, when mummies were being unearthed out of Egypt and other locales. They were being ground up to use for different bullshit vitamins and supplements, which will bring to mind another problem with the Fortean Times. They were being made into jewelry. It was just something that was hip for the time. And really, the view of mummies as not simply something sinister or legendary, but also as something that does need to be cared for because these are pieces of another age that we have lost. That actually developed slowly over a long time. There were some other fascinating articles scattered throughout the various issues. There was one I was particularly struck by about the Smalls Lighthouse tragedy because I enjoyed the film The Lighthouse, both of them, and was quite interested to find out that they are loosely inspired by the Smalls Lighthouse tragedy. Again, I'm going to recommend that you look that up yourself because I don't want to do any spoilers. But nonetheless, the issues are very slim, and they've got just a little too much advertising for my taste. I mean, Weird New Jersey is full of ads. That's part of why they're so thick. Get your minds out of the gutters. But the Fortean Times, for how skimpy these issues are, there's too much advertising. They need to devote more to actual content. And I might add, some of the advertising was downright fucking annoying for a person like me, because talking about the mummies being used for bullshit vitamins and supplements, they've got loads of that shit. By the way, to whoever keeps sending me the text messages about making my penis hard, I don't need your help. Anyhow, my experience with the Fortean Times was definitely a mixed bag, as I said. I gotta be honest, I can't say I would recommend this subscription to anybody else. I mean, if you've got a passion for cryptozoology, the paranormal, and just plain the weird and wacky, it's certainly worth a try, but I don't think you'd end up doing much more than what I did, like maybe just a single 6-month short-term subscription. That said, the Fortean Times customer service was also pretty shitty. My first issue, my first issue actually arrived almost 3 months late. I had to reach out to them via their website asking, okay, what's going on? And they didn't give me an exact answer. All they could give me was some, we'll check into it kind of bullshit. Never a good sign. That said, once the issues did start coming, they were timely and they came each month. It just was really annoying to have that delay. Overall, I would have to say I would skip the Fortean Times, and I don't intend to renew. I'm terribly sorry to the publishers if you see this video. I'm just being honest with you guys. And if you want to change my mind, heed my advice, focus more on content, try to have more articles, and try to keep your topics a bit more relevant to the times, because sometimes it seems like you're running months behind on current trends in pop culture. So, thank you for joining me for this video. I want to encourage you all to keep watching the House That Screams podcast. We just recorded an episode for Candyman, and in point of fact, I'm deeply disappointed to learn that the remake has been delayed. I actually love Candyman. It's one of the few horror slashers I think is just perfect. So this is definitely a letdown. As always, I want to encourage you all to please take your precautions, okay? Wash your hands, wear your face mask, keep your distance. This ain't over yet, and it's probably going to last for a long time to come. As always, I encourage you to look out for each other, eat, drink, and be scary, and enjoy.